and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to be doing a builder with the Dravidians, one of the new civilizations of dynasties of India. I'm actually recording live on Twitch, so if you guys want to check us out on Twitch as well, join the community. Link below in the description. It's all free. You can just come on down and check us out live, where we play a lot of 1v1 games and just hang out and chill. So without further ado, let's hop into it. The build order I'm going to showcase right now is going to be the Dravidians Drush FC. And the reason why I really like the Drush FC with this civilization is if you take a look at the bonuses here, guys, they receive 200 wood when advancing to the next age. So if you get the castle age really quickly, that's 400 wood in the first like 15 minutes of the game, 16 minutes, which is absolutely massive of a bonus. And it also lets you cover the weakness of having a bad stable. Because if you try to play feudal age, oftentimes the guy will go for like a lot of skirms. And like you can go for your own skirms to defend, but then if you need to ever make a stable, your stable is really bad. Like you don't have bloodlines, you don't have anything in castage to really use. So I think by going Drush FC, you're able to go Drush FC crossbow, and then you have options to mix in like some monks or some skirms or some elephant archers later. And it kind of makes it so you don't need the stable in a way. So that's kind of the idea behind the Drush FC with the civilization. Make use of the wood, cover the weakness of a bad stable, and then you can boom up into like Arbalest plus elephant archer and then infantry. So without further ado, let's hop into it, and I'm going to be showcasing it on Arabia, of course, but it could work on some other land maps as well. Let's do it. Awesome stuff. So first things first, it's going to be kind of like a standard Drush FC. The only difference is we're going to compensate for missing out on the, or getting that bonus wood. So we're going to compensate by putting less on wood for ourselves, and it should be kind of a fun little thing you can do. This is a build order, guys, for those just joining us. Build order for YouTube. Awesome stuff. So again, pretty standard start here. You just, double house, 6 to sheep, all good. Sheep scout as always. And we're gonna go 4 to wood, and that's pretty standard. You need to have 4 to wood with the Drush. Even though we get the extra wood when we click up, we still need that early 4. You can't skip out on it because you just need that barracks to come down at a reasonable time. And there's an option to go pre-mill Drush or like post-mill Drush. The difference between those two strategies, or those two differences between the Drush, is simply that one of them, your eco is a bit more fragile, but you get the Drush out faster. And the other one is like your eco is a bit more safe at home, a bit more solid, but the Drush comes out a little bit later. It's honestly your preference, and the build doesn't change too much. But for the purposes of this build, I'm going to show the pre-mill Drush, because I do feel like it's the harder one to pull off, so I want to show that to you. And if you want to stick with the other one, there's no problem. Just adapt the build a tiny bit to compensate. Awesome stuff. So that's my third one going to wood right now. Just scouting the map like how you'd normally scout, no problem. And then once you find everything, you want to make sure to scout your map, scout the opponent's map, excuse me. That's a really big thing. Obviously here I'm playing versus the AI, guys, I know. Every time I do these build orders, everyone's in the comments, or not everyone, but some people in the comments are like, oh, you can do this against the standard AI, but not against the real player. You need to show us against the real player. Guys, I need to show that against the AI just so I can talk and explain my build. I can obviously do it versus the real player, but I won't be able to explain as well. Alright, so we're going to go scout the opponents. Very important to do that with a Drush, because you need to find damage early. Only way to do that is to know where to hit. So there it is. I found a wood line. That's huge, right? You're going to be doing this in your own games. Locate something to hit. Really, really important. I'm going to target that with my Drush, okay? This is a very practical approach as well to the, not just like the build economy-wise, but also practically speaking, where to hit. Alright, next one is going to go straight to your elephant. So if you recap what we just did, we did 6 to sheep, then we did 4 to wood, then we did 1 to boar, 1 to house. You actually need to make 2 houses here. This is a primo Drush variant. And then after the second house is done, we're going to make that barracks, and then we're going to transition over to the mill. If you want to do the post mill, this villager would just make 1 house, then make a mill, and then you send a few more to the berries from your town center, and that's totally fine, okay? So that's the only difference between pre-mill and post-mill. So there it is. Now I'm just waiting for my barracks. As you can see, build is like near perfect, and this is pretty standard so far. This is a generic Civ Drush FC. At this point, when Shabor gets low, there's no like timing. You have to learn how to time this. As soon as it gets low, you want to get the next one in. You judge the distance yourself and all that stuff. Cool, I'm bringing that guy back. And so at this point, as soon as the barracks is coming up, just go send one bill from the town center and get 10 gold. And then after you build the barracks, you just can go ahead and grab the mill. And as soon as you have the barracks, militias start coming out, and all is good. This is the Primo Drush. Barracks before 6 minutes. Very, very aggressive strategy. Obviously, my scouting has been pretty poor this game. Mill goes down. As soon as you get the mill down, guys, just 4 bills from the town center, or 3 bills from the town center. We'll go straight to that mill. You want to get the 3 militia. Guys, there's this new strategy going around. The 2 militia Drush, not a fan of it. I think 3 militia is much more solid. Much more chances that you do damage with the 3 militia. So I would recommend you stick with the 3 militia. You have to drop a house at this point as well. Doesn't really matter when you drop the house, just make sure it's after the mill. So you need that mill at this good time. And then as you get 3 militia, guys, don't waste time. Attack right away. And target what you scouted. Like, I see a woodland on the front, that's my target. It's very, very simple. It's very straightforward. There's no, like, you know, extra special tactics when it comes to it. Back home, I'm gonna quickly go to our sheep here. Make use of our sheep. I'm gonna go ahead and attack. And at this point, you want to start walling up your map somewhat. So at this point, I'm gonna probably send 1 villager as a walling villager, because you need to make a house anyways, and you don't need to fully wall your map every time, guys, with the Drush. You can easily wall towards your town center as well. Some of these Arabian maps are really weird. So in this case, I'm probably just gonna wall towards my town center on this side. And I'm gonna send 2 walling villagers from my town center, because you really do need to wall up. So here I'll wall towards my TC somewhat. And I'll show you, like, the maps you can wall, or the way you can wall is, like, very nice. And just a regular Drush here, guys. You attack the villagers, and then you back up when he hits you. And obviously, I'm not going to show too much of how that looks like, because I want to focus on the economy, but that's just how a Drush works. And at this point, you want to send some vills to wood, so you have 7 on wood, okay? So 7 on wood, very important. When the sheep runs out, we're going to take the stragglers as well, so don't worry. And as soon as you can afford a farm, you make the farm. So that's how it works. Cool. We're going to take the stragglers here, no problems. The 2 vills will continue walling. So as always, it's a very practical build. I'm not just saying, oh, you know, make a perfect eco and don't wall your map. You're going to die every time versus any competent players. But yeah, the reason we only want 7 on wood is because we get that extra wood when you click up. So that's a weird lumber camp. Shout out to AI. So I'm not going to show you any more of the action, just because I don't want to bounce around too much. I want to show you the eco mostly. At this point, we're going to send the next few villagers to wood, and we're going to send a couple of builds from the stragglers as well. The important thing you have to remember is you end the build with 4 on gold. That's it. 4 on gold is the only thing you have to remember, and we're going to do 31 pop, then we click, okay? So in this case, it's a good lumber mining camp. No, we're going to do loom, actually. Yeah, always do loom when you're Drush FC, because you're up really late, so it's too risky to skip loom in this case. And the same thing goes, as soon as you can afford a farm, you drop it. Just make sure you have enough wood for that mining camp, and then you're golden. And wall to my TC here. And I'm up to the next stage. So here, if you're scared of scouts, you want to full wall your map. So you can just full wall like this. I know it looks ugly, guys. I know it looks ugly. Trust me, this is not my first choice. But my map is terrible. Look at my map. It's so bad. This is a really hard Drush FC map. I actually wouldn't recommend it, you know. But let's say you want to do this builder and you get a bad map. Just adapt like this, man. You can easily wall yourself. Even if it looks ugly, you just get it done. And that's it. But keep making farms here, guys, because you get the 200 wood when you click up the next age anyway. So you're going to need a lot of farms with this build. And of course, if your Drush is still alive, go ahead and, you know, make as much use of it, the Drush, as possible. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how you want to micro the Drush. Keep the 3 militia on stand grounds. You want to hit and try to trap with the 3 militia. As soon as they hit you, back up. But then you can try to hit the villager as you back up to get better surface area on that guy. Perfect. Get a build, and you can back up. All the idle time, you get 1 build. You know, it adds up, and it's a lot of damage, and you're just buying a lot of time at home. So very important to do that kind of stuff. All right, cool. But again, we're constantly making farms here. You want to make farms till you have just two left, because that's going to be the 2 in charge of making the archer range. And of course, we are going for the archer range, trying to make it on the front. And then we're going to use 1 gold villager to make the blacksmith, okay? Because you just don't need that much gold. So you're going to pull off 1 vill to make the blacksmith. Kind of a weird map, but I'll make sure it works. There it is. Blacksmith, archer range to the front, blacksmith to wherever. And then now with the villagers that come out, we're going to send them to gold. Because we want to do double archer range, ideally. And then put some pressure with, you know, our archers. You could do 1 archer range if you want to get more of an economy setup. But I prefer the 2 range approach. I think it's easier to understand what the point of Drush FC is with the 2 range. So for higher level, 1 range could be good if you want to get more of a balanced approach. For lower level or intermediate level, 2 range is perfectly fine. And yeah, we're gonna send those until we have enough food to click up, basically. And if you're lacking food, you can easily just, and this is with no deer, by the way. If you have deer, it's gonna look better, but this is with no deer. Constantly make archers now from the one range. Gonna make that second range here. Really awkward positioning, by the way. It is what it is. But yeah, once you get 8 to gold, that's all you need on gold, and then you send the rest over to wood if you need more. But in this case, I'm up and I'm chilling. Look at that. Pretty perfect. I have like no resources, which is exactly what you want to see at this point. And yeah, just 8. Basically, you want the setup to be 8 on gold max. That's all you need, and then a good amount of farms to get you here, and then you just send the rest to wood. As always, we get the wood upgrade here. You could skip horse collar if you want, or you could get horse collar. It's really up to you. I prefer to skip it if I'm doing 2 ranges. I get it if I'm doing 1 range, and the reason is always make sure to make houses. I'm gonna just delete my militia here just to save some room. They should be dead by now usually. So we go ahead and we're just making those archers. You get wood upgrade. You don't get gold upgrade. You can't afford it. You get fletching. And like I said, you could get horse collar here, but if you get horse collar, you can't afford bodkin usually. So I prefer bodkin if I'm doing 2 ranges to put the pressure, okay? But yeah, the choice is yours. I want to keep that as clear as possible. This is just a guide. It's not like it's not a fact, you know. This is not like, you know, you have to do everything in this video to have success. You know, you just follow the baseline and make some adjustments based on what you want to do. Cool. And I'm gonna show you that you can get a town center. Like the reason why this is good to build, this is a good build with Dravidians, that you can get a town center because of that extra wood you get. So it ends up being like a lot of aggression plus a good economy behind it. You just have to skip horse collar because, I mean, you don't have to skip it. You can get it. You see, my eco's actually decent, but I prefer to get the wood upgrade instead. But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can squeeze it in. So you want to start. You want to get crossbow right away. I'm going to cancel 1. Get wood upgrade and then bodkin. Yeah, I was right. You can't really afford. You can't really afford horse collar. You can kind of afford it. There you go. So you get it now. All good. I'm not really missing out on anything because I'm getting horse collar before I'm seeding any farms. So there it is. Just make sure, guys, depending on how you do it, make sure you get bodkin and crossbow before you get horse collar. That's my opinion with 2 range. And there it is. This is a really solid build order. Now you keep sending those to woods until you can get a town center. And as you can see, I've spent all the wood on farms to be able to get a good economy behind it. And then once I have 13 farms now, that's enough to support 2 TC production. Okay, 12 farms, so I should have the 13 one soon. Actually, 12 farms is fine. Okay, I want to make a farm. So now I'm attacking with my crossbow advantage. Always make houses if you're, you know, don't get housed, obviously. I'm attacking with my crossbow advantage. I have 9. That's 8 is enough to one-shot a villain. So as you see, 9 is just massive damage. And he's just getting wrecked. And obviously it's AI, but any opponent will get wrecked at this point at most levels. Even at top level, if I have crossbows, I'm going to be the guy attacking. And at this point, we can make a town center. My map is pretty bad right now, but just fine to do a town center. And a cool trick, guys. I took 4 vills on food to make the town center. I replaced them. I put the vills from my TC to food. Keep that perfect ratio. Keep making crossbows. Keep pressuring your opponent. And that's it. Now you boom 3 town center. If you want to adapt the build, you could easily at this point, instead of the town center, you make a university for ballistics. You can make a siege workshop, a monastery. And there's a lot of different options you can go to, guys. But I prefer town centers because you already have the pressure with the crossbows. The best thing to do is just develop your economy behind it all. And as you can see, I can afford so many different things here. I can remake my lumber camp. There's a lot of different options, and it's a super smooth start. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something. Drush FC with the Dravidians, super solid build order, makes use of their wood that they get at every age, and also covers the weakness of their bad stable. Like here, I'm never going to need a stable, really. Like if the guy goes skirms, I can just go siege workshop. And if the guy goes like, I don't know, like knights, I go monastery. I don't really, or like pikemen. I don't really need their stable ever, and that's the kind of like the strength of this build. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check us out on Twitch, link in the description. See you guys next time. Peace.